All right, great afternoon, educators and stakeholders. I am Rachel Koval. I am your professional development specialist for all things Imagine Learning this year in Clarksville County, and I am so excited. This is our second week of doing our mini office hours lessons, our tech tips, if you will. And this week is about family outreach, family resources. So, what are ways that you can let parents know about Imagine Learning? Make them feel a part of it, make them feel welcomed by it, or even just introduce them to you using it in class in a unique way. So right on the screen, you'll see, as always, it has my basic contact information if you want to take your phone out and shoot a quick shot of that. It's also rachel.koval@imaginelearning.com if you want to send me an email anytime. And my cell phone number is up there if you want to call or text me. That might be the easiest way to reach me. So, as I just said, today is all about family resources. How do you make the parents and guardians of your kids a part of this experience? So, we're going to focus on four things per usual. The first thing I'm going to show you is just how to navigate to these resources from your teacher main page on Imagine Language and Literacy. The second thing I'm going to do is show you some family letters. Then we're going to look at some achievement certificates that you could use and send home to your parents so that they can share in the celebration of their child's growth. And finally, we're going to look at some student session trackers. So get ready. And all right, what you should see on your screen is my teacher demo dashboard. So this is what you see right when you log into Imagine Language and Literacy yourself. So I have my usage, my growth, my progress, the snapshot, the managed students, quick start, resources over here, everything we know and love. Today, we're focusing on one main part of the screen, and that is right up here where it says teacher resources. And as you remember, I said this week is about family resources. So you're probably thinking, does she have her wires crossed? I do not. We know that family outreach starts with the teacher's initiative and impetus. So you actually are going to go to teacher resources to bring you to where the family resources are housed, because it all starts with you. Now, once we get to our teacher resources, at the top, we see literacy, language, tools, the lesson explorer, and then offline resources. I want you to hover over offline resources. You will see, second from the bottom, home connection resources. Go ahead and click on that. This is where we're going to spend our mini lesson today. So in home connection resources, you will see a variety of things that are just ready for you at your fingertips, ready to go out to families and let them know what you're doing. So today specifically, I said we were going to look at family letters. Then we're going to skip down to achievement certificates, and finally student session tracker. So let's go ahead and click on this family letters hyperlink, and it'll boop, jump us down the page to family letters. So essentially the family letter is going to introduce the concept to the home caregiver. You will see all the languages that you can print these out in. I'm especially excited to tell you guys, I know that there is a significant Spanish population. We have that. And there's also a significant Korean population and Mandarin population in Clarksville County. So you'll see the Korean right here, the Mandarin right here. And just to introduce you guys to what's being said in the letter, I'm going to click it in English. All right, so here you go. And remember, you can download this, print this directly, and you can also use the hyperlinks that are embedded. So you'll see in this letter, I know that you can read yourselves as you are professionally literate, but just to give you a brief overview, it's basically welcoming them to the idea of Imagine Language and Literacy for the new school year. It gives them the websites and the things that they can do if they want to learn more at home on their own. It talks to them about the experience that their student is going to have. So things like your student is going to learn the concepts through sounds, rhyming, singing, comprehension, and more. Then the very important part, it's going to talk to them about ways that they can continue using Imagine learning resources, but specifically in this case, Imagine Language and Literacy resources at home. So it says that your student can access it using the information below. It works best with the Chrome series. You can go to the App Store, Google Play, Amazon. You can check out this help website, and here are other things you can do to support your students' progress. I just really love this letter because it's all the things that you need them to know really well laid out. Welcome, your child is using Imagine Learning. 2, this is what it really does. 3, if you're interested in finding out more and doing more at home, here's how you can do that. Then there's even a part at the bottom that I really loved when I was a teacher, when you could go and put in the student username, password, and site code. So that means that the parent can, of course, tear that off, keep that in a safe place, and have that information for them. Or the teacher can fill it out however you want to use it, so that that information is shared both at home in that partnership and at school, because we know that both places need to be very supportive in order for the child to really have the most formative experience with our products. So yes, I am a big fan, if you can't tell, of the letters. So now let's jump back. So again, that letter is available in all these languages. Now we're going to skip over language booklets, but language booklets essentially go more in depth and have more information for families. Look, it says language booklets include these materials: the family letter that we just looked at, printouts to teach core language skills, glossaries for vocabulary words, certificate of completion. So this is really one big comprehensive packet that you could send home, or even give an EL teacher or another resource teacher that might be working with the student outside of the gen ed classroom, to have a really, like I said, comprehensive packet of information of what they're working on. And these packets are available in these 7 languages. All right, now let's go to the achievement certificates. So one of my favorite things is giving students something tangible to show their achievement. I know that in this gamified world, students love feeling their achievements in the online world. And I know Imagine Learning does that so well across all of our products and solutions. But there is something great, right, about having that feeling of I have something to go home, give my parents, and stick on the fridge that you can't replace. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you achievement certificate for Imagine Language and Literacy. So here you can see that you can fill out who it's for, the activities they've completed, books they've read, vocab words they've learned, sight words, and letters learned. So they really have something to be proud of. And I can go ahead and download that right here. So let me go ahead just to show you guys what it'd be like. Put it on my desktop. Ta-da! And here I can also then change many of the things. So I can change a lot of this. If I wanted to convert this to a Word file, I could even change what I'm celebrating at the bottom. It's just a really good template starting off point. So if all you have time is to fill in this information for the student, awesome. Do that maybe once quarterly to celebrate them. You could even put them up on the bulletin boards outside your classroom to show how proud you are of your students' growth, and so that they know you feel proud of them. Or you can change the things within it to suit your students, your needs. It's your classroom, we always say. You know what's best. So that is the certificate section. Then we were also able to look at family letter, and then the general home connection resources. Now, the last thing I said that we would look at is the student session tracker. So that's up here again at the top of the offline home connection resources page. So underneath, I see this fourth bullet point, student session tracker. Let's click on it. All right, and here we are. You can fill in the student's name, date, session time, activities completed, books read, words learned, and green booster bits earned. You can even add a little blurb about what they did that day. This is something great you can pass back and forth from school to home. This is something that I, as a reading intervention teacher, and I know just a lot of teachers, whether you're reading intervention or whether you just love to have very organized small groups during English language arts time, this is something you could have a page front and back for each student for every 2 weeks of ELA small group rotation stations, or however you would like to use it to keep track of your students' growth. All right, so that was a lot of information as always. So I'm going to go back here. Oop. All right, so to review, what we just looked at was how you can go from your main dashboard on Imagine Language and Literacy, click on Teacher Resources, follow that to the offline resources at the top right, and then finally that Goldmine Home Connection resources. We took a look at those family letters and all the beautiful things in that letter that you can send out that's ready for you to go print out and send home, or even attach it as an email. I know nowadays that might be more preferable for families. Maybe a weekly email that you send out, or however you like to communicate. We looked at achievement certificates so that students can have something tangible to celebrate their growth, and families can have that too. And finally, student session trackers that you could send back and forth from school to home. You could keep in your teacher binders to use for parent-teacher conferences or family-teacher conferences. So we had a lot of great stuff today. Thank you for joining us for our tech tips today. And I'm going to stay on for the next 50 minutes to answer questions. Have a wonderful day, everyone.